El Salvador, delays have been reported in the delivery of credentials by the Supreme Electoral Tribunal to national and international observers who will be deployed on Election Day on Sunday. And Palestine-Israel bombed a kindergarten in Rafah in southern Gaza, in areas where the Zionist authorities displayed thousands of Palestinians claiming it was safe. And in Namibia, President Hage Geingob died on Sunday at the Lady Bahomba Hospital. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, would have guaranteed control of the voting centers abroad. This is shown in an investigation published hours before the electoral process, where the president aspires to be re-elected. At least 9 of those supposedly in charge of the Supreme Electoral Tribunal are members of the New Ideas party. Additionally, the investigation, coordinated by the Salvadoran media focus, demonstrates that they received instructions to facilitate a massive vote in favor of Nayib Bukele. Documents from the electoral body itself confirm this, as well as an audio where the presidential commissioner Carolina Recinos and her husband, Efren Bernal, ambassador in Italy, instructed militants to defend the vote. In the midst of this scenario, national and international observers that will be deployed during this Sunday's election day in El Salvador report delays in the delivery of their credentials by the Supreme Electoral Tribunal. And they are not the only ones. The political parties, the members of the municipal electoral boards, and the voting boards also accuse delays. 2,396 national observers and 658 international observers sent their applications to the Supreme Electoral Tribunal. In several cases, in spite of having obtained the accreditation request code up to Saturday night, they had not received their documentation. The magistrate of the electoral body, Noel Orellana, blamed the parties for the delay in sending their lists. In Venezuela, the great national caravan Furia Bolivariana arrives in Caracas to commemorate the Day of National Dignity. Thousands of citizens from different states take part in the great national caravan to commemorate the 32 years of the rebellion of February 4, 1992. Under the slogan, Nos vamos pa Caracas, Venezuelans coming from the Delta, Amacuro, Nueva Esparta, and Amazonas arrived in the capital. In such a way, the Day of Dignity is a historical gesture that consolidated the Bolivarian revolution thanks to the civic military union that achieved the return of Commander Hugo Chavez. Citizens participating in the Furia Bolivariana caravan highlighted the importance of the initiative to remind the world that Venezuela is a free country.
Today starts the great caravan to the city of Caracas in defense of our homeland. For 5 years, our youth that was present in the Battle of the Four Brigades is the one that today also says that we want peace, that we want sovereignty, that we want tranquility in every corner of our state of Táchira. This youth that today once again tells the world that Venezuela is a free country, a sovereign country, and that we do not agree that an international and military interference wants to come and steal from us what belongs to us, which is our peace.
In Bolivia, the 22nd Band Festival started in the city of Oruro. On Saturday, the celebration of the Festival of Bands of Oruro 2024 began, which counts with the participation of thousands of visitors from different parts of the country and the world. Before the beginning of the festival, there was a religious act in honor of the Virgin of Socavón, considered the patron saint of the national folklore. The festival hosts an estimated 5,000 musicians, men and women, who will perform international, national, and traditional Bolivian music. In Peru, the Constitutional Court has ruled as inadmissible a precautionary measure aiming at halting the ongoing inquiry against suspended Attorney General Patricia Benavides. The court decided not to grant the appeal filed by Benavides for the National Board of Justice did not violate the competencies of the public ministry by opening investigations against the former Attorney General for her alleged involvement with a criminal organization, influence peddling, and cover-up. The court also said that a second appeal filed by Patricia Benavides against the National Board for allegedly advancing an opinion in her case has yet to be resolved. However, the Constitutional Court said the general prosecutor will continue to be suspended regardless of the ruling. Chile's public prosecutor's office launched an investigation into suspicions that the fires raging in the country, which the government has described as the biggest tragedy since the 2010 earthquake, may have been caused intentionally. The warning voice came from the superintendent of the Valparaiso Fire Department, Juan Paredes, who affirmed based on his experience that the fire is intentional. The expert assured that areas have burned that should not have been affected, taking into account the history of fires that have been registered in the area. The Environmental Crimes Brigade of the Investigation Police is preparing to explore the 4 zones where the fires are presumed to have started. In Argentina, red alert continues due to a heat wave affecting several provinces, center and north of the country. The Meteorological Service reported that 15 provinces are affected, including Buenos Aires and the city of San Juan, with a record high of 42.2 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the agency said the red alert is issued when record temperatures can be dangerous and may affect even the healthiest of people. Therefore, citizens are advised to increase water consumption, pay special attention to children and the elderly, not to consume caffeinated beverages, and to avoid sun exposure. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. Israel bombing a kindergarten in Rafah, southern Gaza, an area where the Zionist authorities displayed thousands of Palestinians claiming it was a safe area. The brutal attack took place in the middle of a new offensive launched on Saturday night against the south of the Palestinian enclave. The genocidal operation, ordered by Tel Aviv and supported by Washington and London, attacked in the early hours this Sunday morning the kindergarten that served as a shelter for hundreds of families. So far, the death of 2 girls and an undetermined number of adults have been confirmed, in addition to several wounded. The occupying army is expanding its ground invasion into Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are refugees in harsh conditions. On Saturday, Israeli warplanes and artillery launched a series of intense strikes on the southern Gaza Strip, targeting various areas in the Khan Yunis governorate, according to local sources. The sources reported that Israeli warplanes targeted the Al-Manara neighborhood southeast of Khan Yunis, simultaneously with continuous artillery shelling in the Mirage area in the province. The airstrikes also hit the vicinity of the European Gaza hospital, resulting in the injury of a displaced individual and material damage to hospital departments. Furthermore, a fuel station near the hospital was struck, leading to the killing of a civilian and injuries to approximately 6 others. Medical sources confirmed that Israeli occupation forces committed 12 massacres in the last hours, resulting in 107 fatalities and 165 injuries. The Palestinian government warned of the consequences of an Israeli offensive against the southern Gaza city of Rafah, where over 1.5 million people are sheltered. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates denounced Israel's plans to initiate a new round of genocide in Rafah and its surroundings, putting the life of over 1.5 million Palestinians in serious and real danger. This came after Israel's defense chief, Yoav Gallant, and other officials reported the imminent attack on Rafah, following the conclusion of its offensive in the city of Khan Yunis. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry condemned the international community's inability to stop the war and forced the country to allow humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, while the occupation forces continue to attack health centers and shelters in an effort to exterminate everything in Gaza and turn it into an uninhabitable area. The Palestinian Red Crescent denounced the attacks of the Israeli occupation forces against its headquarters building near the Al-Amal hospital. Through a statement, the relief organization condemned the murder of at least 4 people inside the facilities. The humanitarian movement described as dangerous the actions of Israel, which for the last 13 days has maintained a siege against the hospital located in the city of Han Yunis. According to data from the medical organization, the Israeli attacks against the surroundings of the health buildings have caused the death of 43 citizens and wounded 143 others. In view of the lack of supplies and the recurring attacks, the Red Crescent called for the opening of a humanitarian corridor to allow the exit of the wounded, refugees and sick inside the Al-Amal hospital. Displaced Palestinians in Rafah demand a ceasefire and an end to the war, stressing that they want to return to their hometowns, even if they find their houses reduced to rubble.
I hope that the war will end soon and that everyone will return to their homes safe and sound. We don't want wars. The war brought nothing but destruction to both sides. We hope to return to our homes even if they are destroyed. Here we feel like strangers. Prices are high here and everything is expensive. We hope to return to our homes even if they are destroyed. We hope that this war ends because we are exhausted. We demand that politicians reach a ceasefire so that we can return to our homes. Life is difficult here and we are not accustomed to this. We are helpless civilians. Why are they bombing everyone?
The United States and the United Kingdom confirmed that during Saturday night and early Sunday morning they launched new attacks against Yemen. The attack, the results of which are still unknown, consisted of 35 attacks on 13 localities, 11 of which are located in the province of Taiz in southwestern Yemen. According to the U.S. Department of Defense report, the attack involved Australia, Bahrain, Denmark, Canada, New Zealand, the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. So far, only the United Kingdom and Australia have confirmed their involvement in the attack without specifying details. Hours later, the Yemeni government ratified its allegiance to the Palestinian cause and directed new attacks against ships of the Western Alliance. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammad Shia al-Sudani called for an emergency coalition meeting after U.S. attacks on his country left at least 16 people dead. The Prime Minister also decreed general mourning in all departments and institutions for 3 days. In view of the violation of national sovereignty, al-Sudani denounced the U.S. aggression and ratified that his country will not be used as a stage for settling scores between opposing countries. Russia condemns British and U.S. aggressions against sovereign states with terrorist targets in Syria and Iraq. Maria Zagarova, spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, said that they are working with the UN Security Council for urgent studies on these new flagrant acts. She also pointed out that the United States launched massive aerial bombardments from Friday night until Saturday, February 3rd, against 85 targets linked to the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and associated forces. Zagarova also reported that among the targets hit were command posts, intelligence centers, missile storage facilities, and drones that guaranteed the supply chains of ammunition for the Revolutionary Guard forces. We have a second break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with TeleSUR. Found your break? Away. Welcome back from the south. In Namibia, the president Hage Geingob died on Sunday at the Lady Pahomba Hospital located in Windhoek, the capital. The president, who was undergoing medical treatment for cancer, was accompanied by his wife and children. The interim president, Nangolo Mumba, said the country lost a distinguished servant of the people, an icon of the liberation struggle. Saying that it is a painful moment for the country, Mumba asked for calm and serenity. The government cabinet was immediately summoned to make state decisions. Countries such as Cuba and Venezuela immediately expressed their condolences for the death of the 82-year-old president. In Senegal, President Macky Sall announced the indefinite postponement of the presidential election scheduled for February 25th, just hours before official campaigning was due to start.
I have signed Decree 2024-106 of February 3, 2024, repealing Decree 2023-12 2283 of November 29, 2023, convening the electoral body. For my part, my solemn undertaking not to run in the presidential election remains unchanged.
In the Senegalese capital, residents are divided over President Macky Sall's shock decision to postpone the presidential election, a first in the history of Senegal since independence.
On the one hand, I agree. Why do I agree? Because there are candidates who have declared that they have only one nationality, and now after verification we've discovered that one candidate has two nationalities, so that's a problem. As for the Senegalese Democratic Party, they also suspected corruption on behalf of the Constitutional Council. These are all problems that have led to the postponement of elections in Senegal.
Non, c'est pas une bonne décision.
No, it's not a good decision. Whatever he might do, he should have respected the democratic calendar and whatever, because what we have seen in our country is that we have a crisis within Beno Boko Jakar, not an institutional crisis. That's the reality. So he should have vitally respected the electoral calendar and let us go to the polls and let the best men win.
The Russian army confirmed a new Ukrainian attack on the Lugansk region in which at least 7 people died and another 10 were wounded. According to military sources, the attack occurred in a bakery in the city of Lysychansk. It is estimated that about 40 people are still in the rubble of the building that was hit. Meanwhile, local authorities said that rescue teams are using specialized machinery to try to reach the victims. The Russian government has repeatedly denounced the Ukrainian attacks on civilian buildings in the regions of Donetsk, Lugansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. In Poland, the Self-Employed Farmers Union continues its protest against the increase in energy, fuel, and fertilizer prices. Farmers reject the inaction of the national authorities and condemn their government's commitment to respect all the decisions of the European Commission on the increase in energy costs, the rise in the price of inputs such as fertilizers, and the increase of imports into the bloc of foodstuffs cheaper than those grown. The union denounced that such measures directly affect the community agricultural industry. In this sense, they call for a general strike for Friday, February 9th and Saturday, February 10th, in which they intend to block roads, highways, and border crossings with neighboring Ukraine. In China, authorities confirmed that 9 satellites have been launched and positioned on Earth orbit. The Chinese Yailong 3 rocket was launched from an offshore platform based in the southern province of Guangdong. According to local media, this is the third takeoff of Yailong series, with the ability of carrying up 20 satellites at a relatively low cost compared to other rockets performing the same tasks. The launching of Chinese satellites into orbit responds to a request from President Xi Jinping for the expansion of strategic industries in the space sector, considered essential for the construction of communications, navigation, and remote detection. In Pakistan, a court sentenced former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi to 7 years, ruling that their 2018 marriage violated the Islamic law. The civil court set up inside the Adiala jail in Rawalpindi city, where Khan is imprisoned, delivered the sentence on Saturday. It also imposed a fine of $3,560 on them. Bibi's former husband, Kawar Maneka, alleged that his divorced wife did not observe the necessary 3-month break required under Islamic law. It is Khan's third conviction this week and a second for his wife ahead of general elections on Thursday. The series of convictions against Khan have cast a long shadow on the February 8th elections. The vote is also held amid a severe crackdown on the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, which has also been barred from using its election symbol, forcing its candidates to contest as independents. Yet most surveys continue to show Khan as the country's most popular leader. We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our social media on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.